Welcome to the Annie Jennings PR Real Stories of Success podcast series. Annie Jennings is the creator of the most powerful radio campaign in the country, where you are booked on high-impact shows in top markets, as well as her famous pay-for-placement national TV, print, and online media program, where she offers guaranteed deliverables. My name is Stacey Amaral Kaufman, and I'm the radio director for Annie. We are sharing another real story of success to give listeners an inside look into what it's like to work with Annie Jennings PR. And today we're talking with renowned pastor, Dr. Howard Edington, author of The Forgotten Man of Christmas, Joseph's Story. And through Annie Jennings PR, Dr. Edington appeared on over 350 radio stations across the country, heard on major media brands such as iHeart Media, Radio America, Armed Forces Radio Network, and with top national hosts, including Lars Larson. So Dr. Edington, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Stacey. I appreciate the opportunity to reflect a little bit after having such a wonderful experience.
Well, thank you, Dr. Edington. Why initially did you decide to work with Annie?
The number one reason was the publisher of my book, Dennis McClellan, had worked with Annie, I think, in the past, and he was very, very high in her recommendation. And as we thought about what ought to be the next steps for me to take, it was pretty clear that that was at least where we ought to start. And so, and I would have to say, once we started and opened the door and you and the other folks on your team stepped in, I never looked back. I mean, that was the end of any consideration for anything else. It was absolutely spectacular.
Well, you mentioned that we make a great team. You would send me emails after your interviews and giving me the feedback of your experience. And throughout the entire campaign, you would talk about how we work really well together. What stood out for you during the campaign about the radio team?
What stood out, I think, for me was, first of all, sheer competence. The ability that you all have is, at least in my view, unparalleled. That was one thing. The second thing is, in your specific areas of responsibility, what you did for me was truly extraordinary. This was the first experience for me to deal with radio interviews and that kind of thing. I'd done a number of things through media in my pastorate, but this was the first time in a specific campaign like this. And Jason, for example, in preparing me for that, talked about not only the positive things that I could do and employ in my own response to those who were doing the interviewing, but also the potential negatives that might be there. Schooled me absolutely perfectly so that every interview I approached feeling like I was completely prepared and ready to deal with anything that might come up or occur during the course of that interview. And then for Stacey, for you, your ability to make the contacts to then prepare me for the individual, the interviewer. You obviously did your homework, and once I had made the contact with the person interviewing, I felt completely at home because you had given me such great information about the person, the station, the approach, and all of that gave me the sense that I was probably in better control than I thought. But in any case, it actually turned out to be great fun, and you were so thorough in giving me the phone numbers, the things that I needed to do if something went awry in the course of the interview to reestablish contact, the dates, the times, everything. All of that was forwarded to me well in advance, and I knew day by day what I would be doing and what I would be facing with particular interviewers. So that was absolutely wonderful for me. It made it easy. I was able just to have my material handy, but I knew because of the preparation that you all had given me that I would be perfectly comfortable in whatever setting I found myself. Now, let me go on and just say this one word, because this actually startled me. I encountered nothing even remotely negative in the whole experience. The interviewers were classy people. They obviously had done their homework. They knew what they were talking about. They knew what questions to ask. They were encouraging of me and of the story that I was trying to tell. And they used it as a way of actually celebrating their own experiences of Christmas, which I found fascinating. I thought they would be somewhat removed at arm's length. That was not the case at all. They were eager to engage with me and to allow me time to say the things that I felt needed to be said at a particular point in response to a given question. But then they engaged from their own perspective, and it became a really wonderful, healthy dialogue, not just a one-on-one interview with somebody asking a question and somebody answering. And I found that to be enormously encouraging to me, and as I said earlier, it turned out to be great fun. I got to where I was looking forward to these things every day.
Well, you know what, Dr. Edington, the same goes for you, because we had some fabulous feedback from the radio show hosts and the producers. So you did a great job yourself throughout the campaign as well.
Well, thank you. But I would not have done that had it not been for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really mean that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We strive with everyone to make sure they're super prepared, ready, comfortable, and confident as a radio guest, because it's important to get your message out there. And one of the perks that we have in our radio campaigns for all clients is that unlimited media training. You touched upon that. That's with Jason,
Yes.
our award-winning producer for CBS Radio for 10 years. He's on our staff here, and he helps every single person get prepared. Did you find that to be invaluable in your experience?
Yes, I did. I took notes on everything that he shared, and then he sent along a summary page or two, and I used that absolutely religiously every single interview, so that I had it there. I knew the things that I would need to share and how to share them, and then I recognized that the security of knowing that even if things got off the track, which they didn't, but if they had, I was prepared, and I knew how to respond and how to get it back on the track. He was so thorough and obviously so expert in the recommendations that he made and the training that he gave me, that I was very, very comfortable entering into the arena of the interviews.
Now, you've said that so many things have been great, which, of course, we are so thankful for you and this experience. But if you had to pick out just one thing that you would tell somebody else about, what was your favorite experience?
That I would be hard pressed to do that. If you'll let me think here just a second. I do think, Stacy, the having the confidence of knowing that I was entering this arena, with limited experience, but being thoroughly and completely prepared, gave me a sense of confidence and security, and I found that to be what made the difference as I approached each interview. And then to have the opportunity to engage with these truly remarkable people. The interviewers that you scheduled me with were all just extraordinary people, all different, and had different approaches and different interests of their own as we engaged in the process. But to be able to converse at a very significant level with people of that caliber was a joy.
And finally, what would you say, Dr. Edington, to anyone who is listening that might be thinking of working with Annie?
I would say, without any hesitation, that the Annie and you and Jason, the whole team, are absolutely at the top of your game, that you are extraordinarily talented, committed, and gifted, and that I would not look anywhere else. I would start with Annie Jennings, and I would end with Annie Jennings.
You have been just a joy to work with as well, and I want to tell our listeners that you can learn more about Dr. Howard Edington at theforgottenmanofchristmas.com, theforgottenmanofchristmas.com. Howard, it has been truly a joy.
Thank you very much, Stacey, and bless you.
This podcast is presented by Annie Jennings of the national publicity firm Annie Jennings PR. For more information on how you, too, can experience national media success and guaranteed deliverables, please visit AnnieJenningsPR.com.